A tasting session has been called in the cellars of the Château de l'Aubade winery. This is where the estate's oldest Armagnacs are stored. The very oldest is from 1888, but younger vintages are also excellent.
Armagnac involves craftsmanship. Behind every Armagnac, there's an individual style. This is a brandy with an author, like a writer. Cognac, which is produced in much larger quantities, is much more stereotyped and industrial. Armagnac is still made by people, by families in a small growing region, in small barrels. It's all hand craftsmanship.
Armagnac is distilled from white wine. 4 different grape varieties are traditionally grown for it in Gascony in southwestern France. Château de l'Aubade is one of the best known and largest producers of Armagnac. It has been distilling wine for more than 100 years. Arnaud Legourgue manages the estate in the 3rd generation. The Armagnac is distilled in a special still, the Alambic Armagnacais. Unlike cognac, which is distilled twice, Armagnac is distilled in a single continuous process.
The advantage of our method is that while the brandy is a bit rough-edged when it's young, as it matures, it can develop more character and complexity, because heating it only once means that fewer components, aromas, and structures are removed from the spirits.
People in Gascony have been distilling Armagnac for 700 years. Many small wine growers don't have their own distilleries. So from late autumn until March 31st, mobile distillers drive from estate to estate with their equipment. After that, distilling Armagnac is no longer allowed. Around half of every Armagnac vintage is produced with a mobile distillery. Gilbert Ménac has served a dozen vineyards each winter for the last 22 years.
The most important thing is to keep track of everything. After you've started the distilling process, you have to pay close attention. You have to control the inflow of wine, the temperature, and the alcohol content. And because you are distilling without interruption, you do it for 24 hours straight.
Back at the Château de l'Aubade, the Armagnac matures in oak barrels in 7 different cellars, each with a different temperature and humidity. Each Armagnac moves through at least 6 cellars and ages for up to 60 years. The wood from the surrounding forests gives Armagnac its color and flavor. The vintages are tasted regularly and moved into other cellars whenever necessary. Each cellar produces a different taste.
Aromas like vanilla, spices, coffee, cocoa, and what we really look for in the end, all the aromas that underscore the age of the brandy. That's our daily work here. And not only ours, but also that of the preceding generations who produced and stored the Armagnac here for their descendants.
So every bottle of Armagnac contains more than brandy. It also holds the passion, experience, and knowledge of the people of Gascony who produce it and who have grown up with it.
Let me tell you an anecdote. My sisters, my brother and I, and also our children, were all baptized in the church. But here, we also baptize children with Armagnac. You mix a little Armagnac with a lot of water and give the baby a small spoonful, so that very early on, it takes part in the culture and way of life of Gascony.
Armagnac. For the people of Gascony, it's not just a high-quality beverage, but also an integral part of their lives.